House sparrows. House sparrows are small and tiny birds found all over the world. House sparrows are chunkier, fuller in the chest, with a larger, rounded head, shorter tail, and stouter bill than most North American sparrows. The house sparrow is the most widely distributed wild bird in the world. They are found on every continent except Antarctica. The house sparrow originated in the Middle East and spread to most of Eurasia and parts of North Africa. This species became invasive following their intentional release into Brooklyn in the mid-1800s as a control method to decrease linden moth populations. House sparrows were introduced to Australia in the 1860s to control insect pests in urban areas. European settlers believed that introducing familiar species from their homeland would help them feel more at home in their new surroundings. House sparrows were chosen for their reputation as insect eaters and their adaptability to urban environments. However, their introduction led to unintended consequences, including competition with native bird species for resources and disruption of ecosystems. House sparrows, when introduced to new regions, can pose a threat to native birds. They have been characterized as pests in many parts of the world and can compete with native bird species for resources, potentially impacting the populations of native birds. But house sparrows are not all bad, as they also play a vital role in the food chain. They feed on small insects and worms such as caterpillars, beetles, and aphids. Some of these creatures destroy plants, and the sparrows help keep their numbers in check. House sparrows, like many other birds, look very cute. Although they are not very colorful, they are still adorable. Male house sparrows are brightly colored birds with gray heads, white cheeks, a black bib, and rufous neck, although in cities you may see some that are dull and grubby. Females are a plain buffy brown overall with dingy gray-brown underparts. Their backs are noticeably striped with buff, black, and brown. House sparrows are very social birds, often forming flocks with other species while feeding. They roost communally, engage in social activities like dust or water bathing, and exhibit social singing. House sparrows are omnivores, and they eat mostly grains and seeds, as well as livestock feed and, in cities, discarded food. Among the crops they eat are corn, oats, wheat, and sorghum. Wild foods include ragweed, crabgrass, other grasses, and buckwheat. House sparrows readily eat birdseed including millet, milo, and sunflower seeds. Urban birds readily eat commercial bird seed. In summer, house sparrows eat insects and feed them to their young. They catch insects in the air by pouncing on them, by following lawnmowers, or visiting lights at dusk. House sparrows nest in holes of buildings and other structures such as streetlights, gas station roofs, signs, and the overhanging fixtures that hold traffic lights. They sometimes build nests in vines climbing the walls of buildings. House sparrows are strong competitors for nest boxes, too, at times displacing the species the nest box was intended for, such as bluebirds and tree swallows. House sparrows nest in holes in trees somewhat less often. House sparrow nests are made of coarse dried vegetation, often stuffed into the hole until it's nearly filled. The birds then use finer material, including feathers, string, and paper, for the lining. House sparrows sometimes build nests next to each other, and these neighboring nests can share walls. House sparrows often reuse their nests. House sparrow populations have declined by about 3% per year, resulting in a decline of nearly 80% between 1966 and 2019. A global breeding population of 740 million and rates them 9 out of 20 on the Continental Concern Scale, indicating a species of low conservation concern. House sparrows are fierce competitors for nest holes in trees and nest boxes. These are valuable commodities for birds that require them for breeding, and unfortunately, non-native house sparrows squeeze out some of our native cavity nesting species. With the recent industrialization of farms, house sparrows now seem to be declining across most of their range. In conclusion, house sparrows, often deemed invasive, possess admirable traits. Their adeptness at controlling insects and thriving in urban environments shows their resilience. Their social bonds underline the importance of community in nature. Before you leave, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video. Look out for more from Chickadee Productions.